Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mike's DVDs and Blu-rays collection. And today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm gonna recommend two books and stuff like that. I've been trying to show some of the movie books I have. Maybe not show them all off, but just give you a couple recommendations and stuff. Now, this book I read a few years ago, and I had a ball reading this. This is a great book. This is the book by David J. Scull and Ellis Salvada. It's called Dark Carnival. The Secret World of Todd Browning. Todd Browning was a pretty famous director in the teens, the 20s, the 30s. He's best remembered for directing the 1931 version of Dracula with Bela Lugosi, and also making Freaks in 1932 for MGM. But he primarily worked with Todd Browning, or not Todd, Lon Chaney Sr., and he did a lot of his movies. I think they did. God, I can't remember. But maybe like 5, 6, 7 or more, maybe more than that. Some great movies, movies like The Unknown, a bunch of movies. But anyways, it covers all that stuff in this book. It's really cool. He's actually from Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville. But yeah, he's from Louisville, and pretty interesting. He basically quit school when he was like a young teenager, ran off with the circus, and he's had one of those lives like, you read it and you just don't, you read his life history and you think, is this real? I mean, did he really do all this, or is this just, invented a little bit, embellished when he got out to Hollywood and stuff? But yeah, Todd Browning, he's definitely a character, and It truly is a dark book, and there's not much we know about Todd Browning, really. I mean, he didn't do very many interviews. He was so obscure by the 1950s and 60s and stuff. I believe he died in the 1950s, but he never did really sit down and do proper interviews for magazines or writers for books, or he didn't do his life story or anything like that. He was pretty much just a very private guy, him and his wife and his dogs, and they lived in Malibu, and that was it. But he's got a very interesting life, and I recommend this, Dark Carnival, that came out a few years ago. Well, yeah, it's been out for at least 8 years. Anyways, guys, next book I'm going to show you, this is the second edition of Universal Horrors. This is like a reference book. I think my wife got this for me a few years ago for my birthday. But it's mainly a reference book on Universal's movies they put out, the horror movies and science fiction movies and stuff. And it's really interesting because there's a lot of movies in here, and they cover the movie, and then they got some pictures, they got running time, actors and stuff like that. But yeah, it covers a good little bit. Basically 1931 to 46. So I think it really doesn't touch on the science fiction years. I'm sorry. But yeah, it covers some of those horror movies that we forget that are Universal movies that they made like in the 40s. There was all kinds of movies they made in the 40s besides the monster movies. In the 40s we had the Wolf, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, and we had, Frankenstein, Abbott and Costello, and some of those, but there was a bunch of other like little oddball ones, and I've discovered a bunch of those over the past few years, and they're really cool. So this book may help you look up some movies and find out how to track them down and stuff. So it's a really interesting book. I mean, if you're a Universal horror fan, you should have this on your shelf, just as a reference manual to everything. But it's a really cool book, Universal Horrors, and Yeah, the studio's classic films from 31 to 46. Pretty cool. So there you go, guys. Just a couple of quick book reviews. I wanted to try something a little bit different. But yeah, definitely check that Todd Browning book out. I really like it. If you have any curiosity about Todd Browning, or just the way movies were made in the 1920s and some of that stuff, I think there's a real mystique to it. I'm really curious about that time period and stuff. So check those out. I think they're really good. And if you like this episode, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already subscribed, guys. And also comment. What do you think about Todd Browning? Have you heard of him? Have you read this book before? But anyways, check those books out and have yourself a night in and do some reading or watch a Todd Browning movie. Check out some old Lon Chaney's. So yeah, there you go. But anyways, guys, take it easy. Be safe. I'll see you guys later.